each and every week, I try to bring on someone where you can gain a little bit of inspiration and carry it on with you. So today I have on a very special guest. It is going to be Renee Walker. And I know I didn't get her name out, so she'll come on and correct me. But she's going to come on and share her amazing story with you. So without further ado, here she is in 3, 2, 1, boom. What's up, girl? How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah. How's
Yeah,
Missouri life treating you over there?
pretty good. I haven't been to work. We're in quarantine, so I take it seriously. So I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, 100.
I'm pretty much staying to the house mainly. Not going to many places, but I'm pretty good over here. So
Yeah, yeah. We're on lockdown over here too. Yeah, we're taking it pretty serious as well. Yeah, we're only going out for the bare essentials, when we need it here and there. Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. They for some reason they think that uh, they're ready to open up schools over here, specifically in our area.
Hmm.
They went ahead and voted to do the parent gets to choose whether they want to do online or they want to do a hybrid. But
Okay.
I think the governor's going to come on and shut that down tomorrow,
Mm.
which kind of sounds ridiculous to me that
Wow.
they would give you that option since the cases are starting to pile up. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, outside of that, why don't you go ahead and give a brief introduction of who you are?
Well, I'm Erica Renee. I'm Erica Renee Walker. You say
See,
Renee Walker. I'm Erica Renee
I
Walker.
told you, I told you I was going to get it wrong.
No, you got it halfway right. I'm Erica Renee Walker. I am a author of my first book, Through the Lens, a book of short stories. I wrote the book is geared to help on the younger generation who may deal with difficult issues of life, such as like isolation, peer pressure, inadequacy, self-esteem issues, and things of that nature. I wrote it while I was in college. It took me maybe a little over a year and a half to write it. Maybe
Nice.
it was actually a class assignments, but I compiled it into one book and got it published. So
There
yeah,
you go. That's amazing.
thank you.
Yeah. And then, so what, I mean, what did you go to school for?
I went to school for media studies, and initially, well, I went to school twice. So first, I went to school for communications. I went to University of Phoenix online. Then I wasn't quite satisfied, and I still want to learn. And so then I enrolled in the University of Missouri St. Louis. It's also called known as UMSL. And I enrolled. I had took up media studies,
There you go.
and that's when I found my niche and what I want to do
There,
in my life. So
there you go. And then, so you said that your book was compiled of a whole
short
bunch of
stories.
so a whole bunch of short stories that you just did throughout your schooling or one specific class.
Well, I did it in one specific class, but I wrote it while in college, and I wrote my last story. It's four short stories altogether. I wrote the last one when I got home. I started in school, but I finished it when I got home. And so they're all pretty near and dear to me. They have true facts in them, but let you know in person, you would know what's real and what's fake because I did embellish some things. So, but it was fun to use my imagination to create different stories, and I know people go through different issues, so I compiled a little bit of everything in each story. So yeah, like isolation deal with one, and then different stories, self esteem, things like that. So there are different messages each one, each story, and some have multiple messages. So you have to get the book and see.
Yeah, for sure. We'll make sure that we post a link to your book in the description for sure.
Okay,
So let's go ahead and dive into why you're on the show here.
let's do it.
So I'm going to. So what had happened was is I saw a video of you um, doing your physical therapy,
Okay.
and I was like, man, you know what? She needs to get on here and be on my show.
Thank
I was
you.
inspired by the video, you know.
Thank you.
So I was like, she needs to come on here and tell our community, you know, what is going on with her story, you know. So let's dive into it. What actually let's not dive into it yet. I want to know who who was Renee. I'm gonna keep getting it wrong. I'm telling you.
You're fine.
Who who were you before the incident happened? So if like I went to your best friend and I was like, hey, what's she all about? Like what would they tell me?
Well, Erica, before my accident, I've always been an independent person. I've always had drive to myself. I've always been about business and things like that. So I've always been a pretty independent person. Erica was I was in college before I got hurt. I also had a full time job. I had a normal life. I had family, friends. We hung out and did different things like that. I was a normal. I wasn't quite teenager, but I was like in my early 20s. So I just lived my life and just live my life like it's golden. And was just having a good time, and life happened.
Yeah.
And so like I said, I was working a full time job, and it was just I had a pretty good time, and yeah. So I don't want to dive into my story just yet, but yeah, that's what up until that's who I was before. I was Erica. I had worked a full time job, in school full time as well. So I had a full life.
Full life. And then so you said you're out there like hitting the party scene too is what I was getting.
Absolutely. I was a clubber, big clubber, big clubber. Definitely so. Yes, yes, I
Right.
was.
Right. That's kind of what I got too. I was like,
Dance machine. Yes,
dance.
yes.
Right. So now let's go ahead and dive into what what took place on that day, and then what led into everything. What you remember, what you recall, what you were told.
Okay. So on June 1st, my accident happened on June 1st of the year 2008. And well, I gotta rewind back some. So before my birthday, before June 1st, my birthday was that Friday, and so I had this big old lavish party. I had planned it out a year in advance, and
Wow.
so I did because I never had a party before. Well, I had parties, but not that kind of party. I was
Right.
turning 21, so I wanted to do it big. So
Yeah, right.
I had a big lavish party planned out. I had a red carpet. My theme was the day a star was born. So I had got a star shaped cake, red carpet, my dress custom made, red dress custom made.
Wow.
I wore a tiara, had my hair done this real a celebrity type style. I had a backdrop. My party had a DJ, um, had a photographer. He had a booth set up with my backdrop. My name is Erica's 21st birthday party, I think, or Erica's 21st birthday, I believe it said. And my colors were red and gold, and I had on each table, I had about maybe 7 or 8 tables or so. And I had on the centerpieces was like a star, red and gold stars. Each one had my baby photo inside each one of them. Each table, I had food, fruit. I mean, you name it, I had it. It was just an overall good time, and I had invited family and friends, and it was just a good time. But
So how many people would you say approximately were there? Because this party sounds off the hook. I mean,
oh goodness,
when you say it was lavish, I mean that sounds like an understatement after everything that you described
I
here.
would say, if I can guess, I would say maybe about. It wasn't that many people. I don't think. Well, it was a lot of people, but it wasn't like it was hundreds of people. It was under 100 people. I would say under 100 people. I would say, maybe roughly about 50 to 60, maybe
Nice.
about 50 to 60 people. It could be more or less, but I remember. I said about 50. I think I could say 50 people.
Wow.
That were there. And so we danced and had a good time that night. I had flew my cousin in from Pennsylvania. I had grew up with my cousin in Pennsylvania, so I flew her out, and we like I said, we partied, and after my party, it was after party, so we went to the club afterwards, party some more, and at the at community centers you only have like so long to be there anyway, so I maybe like 2 hours, I guess it was 2.5 hours maybe, and then yeah, I said okay, so we're just gonna keep on partying or whatever, so I didn't change clothes, I went home, and but one thing about that night, and the whole weekend, just about it rained so bad. And it rained horribly. Like I've never seen rain like this before ever. I mean, I've seen rain like this now, but the rain that happened that night, I've never seen it before that moment.
Yeah.
So it's pretty. It was pretty. It was pretty out the ordinary, and
Yeah.
but I didn't think anything of it. And so we went back to my apartment, and then we went to the club on the east side of St. Louis, and I believe it was called Club. I think it was called the Vino, maybe the club. I think the Vino. I think was they went to. I believe.
Okay.
And so we
Shout,
I
shout out to Club Vino.
shout out to the Vino, and we went there, and then I remember going back home and just falling out. Like I was done. I was outdone. Like I was done. I was outdone. And
Yeah.
that Saturday morning, we woke up, and I had asked my cousin weeks prior to this if I could have a sleepover at her house because I only had a one bedroom apartment, and so I wanted my other cousins to stand on me as well. And I had plenty of friends, but I don't know why I didn't want. I don't know. I had plenty of friends. I don't know why I just wanted my cousin around me, but for some reason I wanted my cousins with me. And so I had asked her to sleep over at my cousin's home. She said yes. So that Saturday night we woke up and then we just hung out or whatever, ate some leftovers from our party before. A couple of friends called, hey, can I come over, whatever, eat some food or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, come over and so whatever. They came over and things like that, and we hung out a little bit more. And then I say maybe about like 7-ish, 8 or something. Once my cousin's home, I picked up everybody who was gonna stay the night that night, and we just talked and watched movies all night long and joked and ate food and snacks and had girl time, and
Yeah.
that was it. And then comes Sunday, June 1st, the day that hit it all. I woke up to, oh my goodness, I woke up to like aroma of like I'll make you hungry, but like bacon, eggs, pancakes, waffles. We had, I think, oatmeal or cream of wheat or something like that.
Hold on.
Fruits.
Let me go eat real quick.
Right. So yeah, I kind of it was. I mean, so much food was like a buffet. It was so much food, like toast and sausage, and oh my god, it was so much food. And so woke up and ate breakfast and things like that. Then we lounged around some more, and then I believe I maybe like 3 or 4-ish, maybe I had maybe later than that. Went back to my place to change clothes, and so my cousin stayed at home to change clothes. All together was a total of 5 of us, and I had to drop my cousin out to her vehicle because she couldn't hang out that day. So and I drop off at her vehicle because we were in the shop, and then I also went back to my apartment and changed clothes. Cause we didn't. I didn't take a change of clothes to my cousin's home for some reason. I don't know why I didn't, but we just didn't. And changed clothes at my place or whatever. And then went to my picked them back up after dropping them off, and then went to my aunt's house, and then went to my grandmother's home, and then we went to the city of St. Louis, and that's where my accident occurred. And that night is very, it's kind of foggy a little bit, but I remember writing down, it's the street called in St. Louis called Grand, and it's, I guess it's a popular street, I don't know, I guess it's popular. Um, it was on Grand, and I was thirsty, and if you might know back then, I hate being thirsty. So I had to stop getting something to drink. But that night on Sundays here in St. Louis, I don't know how it is now, but I know back then it was like the the um it's always crowded in the city. It's always crowded, and so I remember being a lot of cars and stuff, and so it was very overly crowded. And so I went to and like I said, I wanted something to drink, so we pulled over, and at a particular gas station, it was really crowded, and so I went across the street to this other gas station, and it was less crowded, and we got the car and went into the gas station. I bought my cousin snacks where they wanted, things like that, and went out, and everything else pretty much just a blur, pretty much after that. But I was told that shots were fired, and that I can't recall. They said I ducked. I don't recall ducking, but they said I ducked. And where I got shot at, it's apparent because it's because where it happened at. So it's obviously that I ducked because that's where I heard it. So, but I had a crown on that night. I was a princess that whole weekend. You couldn't tell me anything. I was just a princess the whole weekend, and
Right. And you
um,
still are. You still are. Come on
I
now.
am. Well, I graduated to queen now, so I'm a queen
Oh,
now.
watch out. Watch out.
Yeah. So, so I that happened, and then I was told that um, they called the ambulance, and yeah, so I was rushed immediately to the school hospital, and I had to have a bedside surgery, and they had to drain my brain because I was shot in my head. So when the bullet struck, it really, I guess, me and my head enlarged my head or something. I guess the impact created some kind of, I guess, made it swell or whatever. And
Yeah.
so it impacted it that way. And then after my brain was drained, I had to have surgery. And so I wasn't expecting to make it through the night. They was like, well, it's not looking good.
Yeah.
And
So so when you went into the hospital, they had to remove a piece of your skull for the because your brain was swelling.
no, they had to drain it to
Okay.
make it size it back down. I never had to take a piece of my skull out, and
Okay.
so I thank God for that because I know a lot of people that have brain injuries, they do have skulls removed or like
Yeah.
part of their brain removed, but I didn't have any of that. That
Yeah.
happened to me. They just had to drain it to where I guess it would shrink back down to I guess normal regular size, and even then I think it still wasn't all the way down, but it was enough to maintain it or manage it to where I guess it could eventually go back to its normal form.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
it wasn't that impaired, but when the bullet struck, it shattered all over the place. Like it did different things. Like I couldn't talk for about 4 months.
So
I
it kind of like ricocheted in there and
it
whatnot. The bullet.
all over the place. Messed up my vocal cord, my mobility cord, equilibrium, my voice box, or my vocal cords, things like that. It just did a lot of damage. Like
Yeah.
it did a lot.
Yeah. So it went in one area. Did it actually like exit another area
No,
or did it stay?
it shattered. It shattered inside. So
Oh. Okay.
it's still a fragments inside.
Oh wow.
Now I don't know if it's all right now. I'm not sure, but yeah,
Wow.
there's still they're still there. I guess.
Wow. That's so when you go in through a metal detector.
I don't go off. I don't go off. No, I don't go off.
Well, I
I
do.
know. You
I
do?
go off.
Do
Yeah,
you?
I do. I have this big old thing right here.
Oh wow.
I got metal all up in me, you know.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, I go off through the metal detector, and they're like, oh wait, and then
Stop. Go back.
they gotta do the wand thing. I'm like, come
Oh
on, man,
goodness.
I got all sorts of metal up in me, man. Leave me alone.
Wow.
Yeah, leave me alone. You know. So yeah. So you said the bullet went in there. It basically went around and then shattered, right? So once it shattered, you went in or you went into the hospital. They had to cut some sort of hole to drain,
Yes.
in the blood, right? To drain the blood,
To
right?
drain, I guess to drain my brain. I just say drain my brain. to
Yeah.
alleviate some of the pressure or whatever. So
Right.
yeah,
So once they did all that, what happened next?
I was in a coma,
Okay.
and the doctors they had talked to my family, and they were like, well, um, it's not looking good. And so my 4 weeks, like it was touch and go for weeks. And so when they had a conversation with my family, I guess I don't know the time period that went past. I'm not exactly sure about that, but I know they had a conversation with them, asked them if they want to pull the plug, and it was like a big deal. And
Well, yeah.
so my like it wasn't like a no, but it was more like a yes, no, it might be yes and no. It was like a deliberation kind of thing. And so, but my cousin, she was like, no, we're gonna give her a chance. And so, my father wasn't having it, and my mother, she's pretty distraught. So I don't think she didn't want it, but it's like, I don't have children, so I don't know what it's like to be in a predicament because like it's like you don't want to
Right.
say yes, you don't want to say no. It's like, but you don't want them to be like. And the doctor said I'll be a vegetable, and so it's
Yeah.
like don't want you to look like this or don't want you to like look like that. So it's kind of hard to decipher,
Right.
which way to go. So because
Right.
I'm not a parent, so I don't know, how that feels, but um,
And
she was in a good shape, and so
yeah,
it just so my cousin was kind of the mouthpiece for that, and so they gave me a chance, and here I am.
there you
So
are.
clearly I'm no vegetable. Clearly I'm no vegetable.
Hey,
So
no, and you look great. You look fantastic.
thank you.
Yeah. So the decision was made not to pull the
What a
plug, right? And then so was your coma was an induced coma, I'm assuming, right?
yes, it was induced. I was in
Yeah.
a coma for about a month and a half.
Okay. And then how many brain surgeries did you have?
I had two. After
Two.
the first one, I wasn't showing very many signs of like brain. I wasn't showing much brain activity, and so it was kind of like I was just there. It may have been minimal brain waves, but not very many. And so they was like, well, you have to go in again. And so but before that would happen, I had to be transferred to another hospital for extended care. And so I once went to the other hospital, an infection was found in my head, and I was also having trouble breathing. So all that was going on, and so it was determined that I had to have a second surgery. And so after the second surgery, I started showing signs of like more brain activity, more brain waves, things like that. So I was coming back
Right.
around. So yeah,
Good to go. Good to
by the
go.
grace of God, by the grace of
Right,
God.
right, right. Hallelujah.
Uh,
Yeah. You know, I was, you know, I was put in a barbiturate coma as well. I had, infection as well. I had to get the bone removed, and young age as well, So yeah, my family went through it,
I'm
as
sure
well. So, it's tough, not
it
only
is.
on us, but the other people around us that love us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. And then so remind me one more time, how old were you? 21,
I'm
right?
21.
21, right? So when everything was said and done, you came out of your coma. What
Yes.
were the first memories that you had once you came out of your coma?
Well, I remember seeing nurses. So
Okay.
I'm like, what are these people doing to me?
All right.
I'm like, cause, actually, I didn't. Well, I'll take it back. I'll say this. I didn't have any thoughts, and that makes zero sense to say, but I really had no thoughts. Like you look at people, but you don't think anything. It was like that. I just really didn't think anything. Like
Yeah.
I seen people hooked to IVs, things like that, but like I didn't think like, what is that? What are they doing? I never thought anything like that. I'm just like, but what would have me here laying in the bed not knowing what's going on? Like my brain, and I guess maybe it's like my brain didn't register or something. I don't know, but I didn't have those thoughts like, oh, what happened to me, or I didn't have those thoughts until I got to like maybe like my third hospital, and I was more aware of what's going on. I was active in therapy and stuff like that, and moving around more and things like that. But before then, I really didn't think anything. I didn't think anything. Like
Yeah.
I had
I
no idea what to think.
Yeah. You know what? You know what's funny is, I get specifically, my wife will be like, what are you thinking right now? And I'm
Yeah,
like, I don't think
nothing,
about anything. I'm
nothing.
just sitting here chilling. She's
Yeah,
like, how are you not thinking about anything? I'm like,
just not,
I don't know. There's nothing about anything. Like, you
just
can't
not.
just sit here and like not think about anything. You know what I mean? Like, so I
And
don't know if that,
it seems so weird though, but like it just you really don't think anything. You just
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, maybe that's like something along the lines with, a brain injury where you
I
can
don't
just
know.
like you can just sit there and just like totally just be like,
Yeah.
you know,
Or it's normal to me, but I don't know. Other people say, "What? It's impossible." Yeah,
yeah,
not possible.
it's normal to me too, whereas my wife's like says she's thinking about like 10 things at one time. I'm
Yeah,
like, that's lucky to
yeah,
be you.
yeah. Now I think about a lot of stuff, but back then I didn't think about a lot of stuff like that. It wasn't very
Yeah,
much on my mind. Like
yeah,
it wasn't.
right. So, you said you were in a coma for a month and a half, right?
Hmm.
And then it took another 2 months to get to the third hospital.
Um, let's see, June, July. I said about 2 months. I'll say 2 months ago.
Yeah,
To
so
that
two
first
months
session.
to get to the third hospital, and then at the third hospital, that's when you started doing your therapy.
Rehab. Hmm.
Rehab.
Yes.
So once you started doing your therapy, what like what state were you in? Like talking, moving?
Um. No, I was not talking. I say I have a scar. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I have a trach scar. I had a trach in my throat, so I was to a trach.
Hmm.
So even in therapy, I had to have a trach. I had a feeding tube in my stomach, so I was taking all these things connected to me. It's like it was so painful. Therapy was so painful. My God, like think about it back then. I still could feel the pain, like even now, like and it's so many years ago, but it was. I remember being so painful and got all these different things, and it was terrible.
Yeah,
But it was quite a transition, and even my head I couldn't even I can control my head now, but I was like a bobblehead, like I was all like all over the place, like just I
yeah,
had zero control in everything, zero control of everything, like. I wasn't standing. I was not doing anything like even well I think I used my hand. I believe I used my left hand. I think I did use the left hand or whatever at the time, and I was right-handed.
yeah.
So for me to stroke my right side is kind of like, oh goodness, like this is my dominant hand. So
Right,
I had to learn how to write again with my left hand. So it's just
really.
a big old transition. But I wasn't talking. I didn't start talking to about 4 months after I got St. Mary's. So even that took a while. In that process, my voice, and it's so funny how my voice came back. Me and my mother were my room. I was sitting up in the chair or my wheelchair or whatever, and this I don't even remember the show called One System Park. If you ever saw it before, but it's like a video show and it plays
Okay.
like 10 videos, and so we were watching that. And that night I went to the club before I got hurt. I remember hearing a particular song, and I began to hum it, and I'm like, Mom looked at me. She said, "Erica, are you talking?" I looked at her like, I don't know. Like, well, I was thinking like, and then my eyes like this, like I don't know. But and she was like, "Say hi, mom." And I looked around like, hi. I said it like kind of like, "Hi, mom." Like it was kind of like it wasn't very clear, but it was kind
Yeah,
of like. And she was like, "Ah!" It was she really just she lost it.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was so that was a good day, and she didn't call. She was calling people or whatever, and like she was just so excited.
yeah.
But yeah, that was a great day. And so I have great moments like that, but I don't remember exactly my whole journey. But I do know that I lost my feeding tube. Well, I didn't lose it, but like I got my feeding tube taken out. I can eat regular food at St. Mary's, and so I also got my trach taken out. And it was so I felt like I was supposed to be to breathe because I had it for so long. I'm like, how am I gonna breathe without it,
Right.
But and I was like, I said, well, can you leave the mask next to my pillow? And they were like, okay, like you're fine, but okay. So I'm like, I just feel my better. I just feel more comfortable. Like I just really need to know I can breathe or whatever. So
Yeah.
I remember working middle of the night, and I was like, I put the mask on my face. I'm like, I panic. I'm like, and I'm like, oh, I can't breathe. So it was just so many different things that just so many interesting things. I don't know if I could breathe, but I just feel like I couldn't breathe with something I don't know. But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. I had a trick as well.
I did. Yeah, I see how I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy, like the advancement in how
yeah,
because mine was in 1997, so my scar is pretty gnarly, because
yeah.
it was attached by four set of stitches, and
Oh wow,
yeah, and it's my
I
scar's
see.
pretty gnarly. Yeah,
I see it. Yeah. I don't think I had stitches. I just they just put a bandage over it
yeah,
and it just closed.
yep, yep,
It just closed naturally. So
yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Like I said, the advancement in medicine is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's definitely gone far.
Oh yeah, for sure,
Definitely
for
gone
sure.
far.
Yeah. Now, so that was the speech aspect of it, which is incredible. Because obviously, you're fluent now in your
Yes.
vocabulary, and doesn't seem like you have any aphasia at all whatsoever. Um, so, do you notice like you have like any aspects where you lose uh, thoughts in your words?
Yes.
Okay, so then maybe a little bit of okay.
Yes. I was like, what was I saying? Like, I mean, I can remember it. Like, it's why I said, well, and it's so funny because like I can say alphabet and I say A B C D E F G now and I remember it. Like, I have to do stuff like that, but like it goes sometimes, but it come back like either within the next minute or so, or sometimes the next day, sometimes a week later. It varies. It varies. It just depends. But I do have moments when I'm like I lose train of thought sometimes.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
I do have those moments.
yeah, for sure. Now, so do you have two bachelor degrees, or how is it?
I have associate degree in communications and have a bachelor's in media studies.
Okay, so with and one was after your brain injury, right?
But they both were.
Oh, they both were after.
Hmm.
So
I was in school, but I didn't get to graduate though. I was in school at the time.
okay, so now this is perfect, for our community because I received my MBA after my
Hey,
stroke,
congratulations!
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it is possible,
absolutely.
to get these uh degrees, you know
After,
afterwards,
yes,
so if you
it's hard work.
yeah, it is, school in general is hard work.
Awesome.
If it was easy, everyone
Hmm.
would do it, and so, being with that being said, and we kind of touched on it a little bit already, with, I know I have memory problems,
Hmm.
so how would you prepare for a test?
And see, here's the thing. I'm a note taker, so I take very detailed notes.
Okay.
And so, people say how you get a tape recorder, and I had one, but the tape ran out. So it's like a self care. You got to jot down. You got to find a different way. And so, I ended up, I would take notes, and I would have the teacher sometimes print them off. And if that couldn't happen, I would just remember the main points of what's going to be in the test. Because at the end of the day, it's what matters what's going to be in the test. So it's like, whatever else doesn't really matter. And so I would say, people say, you need note taker? I'm like, no, I take my own notes because people don't take notes like you would take notes. I'm very
Mhm.
detail oriented. I know what I hear. I have a very sensitive ear to hear certain things. So I pick up certain things, and I know what's gonna be important, what's not gonna be important. So I pick and choose. And what also help with the teachers, some teachers give outlines, and so and that really helped a whole lot, like a whole lot. And I would also read my notes at nighttime, and I made a dean's list, like at the brain injury. Like well, I was on honor roll before my injury, but I made a dean's list. Like, how awesome is that? Like, the
Right.
dean's list. Like, I had 3.8 GPA, I believe.
Watch out. Watch
Yes.
out.
So I just really so God is just so amazing. Like how He just works, and so but yeah, I had a 3.8 GPA, and like I said, I took detailed notes, and also they had my school had services where you can get extra time to I think it was called the disability center or something. Down it was downstairs. Disability services, extra service, something like some disability something, and so I would get extra time for tests and assignments or whatever.
Yeah.
And so but I never need the whole time. Like you can double the time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
if a test is like an hour, you get 2 hours.
Yep.
And vice versa, 2 hours you get 4 hours. So I'm like, I don't need 4 hours to take a test. Like if I studied and I'm fine. And
Yeah.
they're like, you check your answers? I'm like, yeah. You double check it? I said, yes, I did double check it. Like I'm so fast. Like it's just so amazing. Like how I retain information and yeah, it's just
Yeah.
my brain is it's amazing. Like how
Yeah.
I surprise myself sometimes. Like
Right.
God is like, oh my God, like you're amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
100%. Now, what I would do is, because we take our own notes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we study our notes. So, and we're seeing our notes anyways.
Yeah.
So there's a program on your computer called Audacity, and
I
it's
did.
on
Yeah. I know that program. Yeah.
it's on every computer.
Okay.
So what I would do is I would read my notes to Audacity, and then I would record it on my phone, and then
Oh.
it's called subconscious studying. So I would play it on loop while I'm sleeping.
Ah.
You wake up
That's a good
and
one.
wake up in the morning,
That's a
and
good one.
it's just playing all night. And
Hmm.
you go to read over your notes, and it's just like kind of like embedded in your brain.
Yeah.
And then also, like, you can remember a song. It's a different part in your brain, how you can like remember a song from like 20 years ago when you just hear it,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're like remember the words. And I don't remember which part of the brain it is, but so what I would do is I would take the beats from a song,
Mm-hmm.
and I would lay it out on Audacity, and then I would take the words from my studying, and I would lay that out too, and
Oh.
play it on repeat.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
a,
like I was saying, you had your ways, and then I
yeah.
had other ways. So I'm just trying to.
You have to make it your own. Because everybody brain injury is different. No brain injury is the same. Is what I found. No brain injury is the same. So our brains work differently. So what work for you might not work for me. So and vice
Exactly.
versa. So it's what
Yeah,
works for
yeah.
you.
So I'm just trying to throw out some ideas
Yeah.
to the community, and
Definitely.
as you know and because we're not stuck in the situation in
No.
our current situation,
No.
and
No.
yeah. So so you went from the brain injury to your therapy, and then what happened as you were starting to start your therapy? That was
You said what happened after my therapy, or
that's where we were at, right? You were starting your therapy.
okay, so um, like I said, it was very painful at first. I cried like the first few days. I cried like, what are y'all doing to my legs? Like these people are crazy. Like oh my god, ouch. Like it was very bad. And after a while, I had learned to take medicine before pain medicine before therapy. So by the time I have it, it'll kick in. I won't feel nothing. And so I may feel a little something, but it's not as bad as it would be if I didn't take pain medicine. But oh my god, it was so oh my god, it was so painful. Oh my god, just thinking about it like maybe cringe, but yeah, it was so painful though. But I do remember that And I learned something every rehabilitation center I went to. I learned a new technique. Like I said, when I left St. Mary's, I was holding my head up. When I went to maybe from there I went to Mount Vernon rehab center, which was like 20 miles away from my family and friends. And so I was only girl there on the floor, only girl with a brain injury that from due to gun violence on the floor. It was just I was just eyeball out, and I was just there, and I remember feeling so alone. And I remember one point in time I was angry, and I'm like, why am I not getting better? Like, why am I not getting better? Like, why am I not, why does it take, what's taking so long? Like, I'm thinking it's just like a snap of the finger thing. Like, you get therapy and it's just magic wand. It's like, a poof, you're walking up again or whatever like that. But it's not, that's not how it works. It's actually a process. And it's like, I didn't get that. I didn't understand that. So it's like, I'm thinking like, I get rehab in a couple months I'll get better. No, that's not what happened. I'm gradually getting better each and every, each place I went to, gotten better. Got control of head movement from my St. Mary's. I my heart now I was able to stand better. My feeding tube was taken out and stuff like that. And then I went to a nursing home when I moved back to St. Louis, and I was just upset about that. So I'm angry. I was constantly in an angry state. So I struggled with anger like a lot during this process, and and then I remember after that, I would get outpatient therapy here and there, both these programs, things like that. And so it just been a transition, and I learned how to write, fluently with my left hand. At first it was like scribble scrabble, you could really understand it, but now it's like it's legible now. You can understand it. It's sloppy, but you can understand it's legible. Yeah. But yeah, and I type my fingers and stuff like that. So I'm one handed still. I do everything one hand. I write now. I do everything one hand. Like there's nothing I don't do. I put my shirt on by myself and do my own hair. So it's kind of like So yeah. So I learned to adapt to my circumstances.
Right.
And if circumstances happen to me, I learned to adapt the other way around.
Yeah. Now, what kind of sparked my piqued my interest there was, you stated that you were angry, a lot of time, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you don't look angry now, obviously.
Oh, of course not. No.
Right? So one of my points, is PMA, positive mental attitude, which is a key aspect in one's recovery. So once they have a positive mental attitude, it's a lot easier for the brain to reconnect those neurons for your recovery. So if you're ready to go and say, all right, what, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to conquer, this feat that's in front of me, and whatnot. So that's one of my key talking points is the positive mental attitude, PMA.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
role.
What's that?
Your mindset plays a big role in this whole thing, this whole process. If you think I can't do it, you're not gonna be able to do it. So it definitely plays a role. And I will say this that even though I struggle with anger, I just had to learn how to deal. And and the more in the first I didn't want to know anything about brain injuries. So I'm like, I don't care. It's just I don't what I care for. Like it just I didn't want to know anything about it. And so these last few years I've been kind of my interest has been piqued to learn more about it. And I learned the anger is one of the things that one of the problems that you deal with. And I was like, no wonder. I'm like, no wonder. I know what this man for no reason. Like, I know it had to be something. So it made more sense, as to why I would do certain things and things like that. So a lot of things were put in perspective. And then when I found out even more, like even dealing with gun violence, like I want to be more active with gun violence. So that led to another thing, and so I become more active with Wash U in Missouri. They have it's called the Violence Prevention Committee Commission. They have a program to help prevent gun violence, and so I was on a panel last summer actually around this time. Actually, I think it was July 3rd. I think it was July. It was July. I think 13th. I think sometime this week was. It was this week or whatever. And so I've been on a committee, and I found out that I'm sure it's gone up by. I think it's gone up by now, but at the time it was 96 people. Americans are killed by a gun every day. There's almost 100 people per day. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, it
Like
is.
shot by a gun, it's just like being killed. It's like I I'm so thankful to be um
A
not
lot,
one of those people. Like I'm still
not a
here. So
statistic. Yeah,
yeah, it's just like it's such a wonderful thing, and so anyway, I can raise awareness about gun violence and how it impacts people. I definitely want to do so. Like that's what I want to do. So that's what I'm all about.
yeah,
And I
100%.
want to amplify my voice to be, heard to be a voice of other people that are my situation and I'm my situation that can't talk, that can't do things I'm doing or they're not as vocal as I am. Because I did meet a girl, but she couldn't talk, and when I told her my story, she could hear, she could listen to things like that. But like when I got to the part when I said I couldn't talk for about 4 months, she was her eyes lit up like, "What? You couldn't talk?" It was so I can't even describe the feeling, but it was so amazing to inspire somebody in that small little way, just that small little token of my story, touch her life. And it just I don't know how she's doing now, but yeah, just talking to people. And I love encouraging people. That I love encouraging people. Like I just I just don't know. I didn't have anybody, I didn't have anyone to talk to me in the hospital, because most people who get shot in their head, let's face it, they die. They don't survive.
Right,
Majority
right.
they don't really make it through anything like this or whatever. So I didn't have nobody to talk to that understood all the way with how I
Right.
was feeling. So it's like I want to be that person with other people who do survive and want to talk about it and are okay with it, and the best their ability to be handling it. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, in your case, it's not only about, well, Jerry here says, great interview and great inspiration. You look amazing, Erica. Positive mental attitude.
thank you, Jerry.
Let's go ahead and read some of the comments real quick.
Sure.
Shannon, this amazing woman here, who just happens to be my wife.
Oh,
Po-
she appreciate
yeah,
it.
positivity can change everything.
Absolutely, 100%. They
Yeah.
definitely can. They
Jerry
definitely
again says
can.
you are amazing, Erica.
Thank you, Jerry. Thanks, Jerry.
Ann Norton, my
Hi.
cousin Rasa, lives in Missouri and
Hi,
had a
Ann.
stroke as well. She says, "Hi guys." She said that she just started PT again finally.
Hey. Ooh,
Yep.
ooh.
And
That's cool.
this I'm assuming is someone that you know. Hey
Yes.
Erica.
Hi, Camille.
Yep.
Thank you for watching.
And I think you might have gotten in trouble here. Oh, you had a serious party.
I definitely did. Definitely did. Absolutely. It went down. Yes, it did. It went down. Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
And she said, "Wow, Erica, you have such a powerful testimony."
Thank you.
There you go. So, now I lost my train of thought. Dang it.
So I can so I alongside this I'm also writing another book about my personal story.
Oh
And that's
wait,
what
was that the link?
no,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
all
That's
right.
to my
Let's.
that's to my resource that we're gonna talk about in a few minutes.
All right.
So but I'm currently writing a book right now. It's called Dear June 1st, and that's the day I got hurt. And I really, you know, I'm on Facebook and stuff like that, and I'm on Facebook and I repost every year, and I want to write a book, so I'm like, okay, what's a good title? So I thought, well, Dare Do First, because it's like writing a letter to that day and what that means and things like that. So it's my book, and it's gonna be about my story, of course, and other things as well that have gone in my life and things like that. So it's not just my story; it's my story plus some.
Right.
So and it's a look into a deeper look into my life and who I am, and who I was before, who I am now, who I'm thinking becoming, or whatever, and things like that. So it's gonna be amazing, and
Of course.
but but I love to get interaction with people, and just to build our communities up and inspire people, and I'm all about positivity, encouraging people, definitely
And
about that.
yeah, and
So
that's why I was like, hey, She needs to come on the
Yeah.
Determined Show.
So excited to be here. Yes.
And
So,
Jerry wants to know what deficits you have right now.
well, I'm not able to walk right now. Well, not without assistance.
Right.
So I can stand up right now, but I'm unable to walk. Take multiple steps right now, but I'm getting there. So
There you go. There you
one
go.
day at a time.
One day at a time. One day at a time.
Yes.
Now,
Okay.
yeah, I totally. It's one of those stroke moments right now. I totally lost my train of thought when I went into the
But it's talk
comments.
about, it's talk about the resources. So the link that Jersey.
Let me
Oh,
pull
okay.
up the
The link.
link here. Hold on. Where did I put it?
Okay.
Where did I put it? There it is. Boom. Okay.
So the link you see on the screen is linked to my seven keys to how to handle anger. It's 7 keys that I use personally myself that work for me. So I'm in several ranger groups on Facebook, and I noticed that a lot of people talk about anger issues. I'm like, oh, I create a resource for that or whatever because I dealt with that too myself.
Yeah.
So it really helped me a whole lot. These steps, the keys that I said, or whatever, because I went through some of the same things. I read the comments and like, I went through that too. Like, oh my goodness. So I really felt compelled to create a resource that would help others. That help me. And even if all the keys don't help, at least one may help. You never know.
Yeah.
What can help until you try it. So I created resources to help others, and there you have it. And
Look
hopefully,
at that.
I hope they do. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, because those groups. Obviously in a lot of groups as well. You see a lot of comments on there. And
Absolutely.
you get a grasp of what the community is dealing with, and that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like I try to pull out or try to discuss what you know try to touch on those topics as well,
Mm-hmm.
with who I bring on the show here, so that we can help as many people as we can, because that
Absolutely.
was that was the whole purpose of um, me starting the show, was to help the community. So
That's beautiful.
yeah, and what do you have any final thoughts for our community?
Oh my goodness. Well, I would love to get out to select the link, and if you have any issues or whatever, if you felt like you're misunderstood or you're angry, you don't know why you're angry, or you need something that can just outlet, their resource is definitely a great start to use. Also, I like to say that it's not over. Your life's not over. You're still living. You're still here. So obviously, there's still something for you to do. Even if you're in a bad place right now, it gets better. And I know it was hard, to think that like, and for me, it was definitely hard to be like, see things changing, but they will change. Things are definitely gonna change. I mean, things don't stay the same forever, and you will get through this. So don't lose the faith. Keep the faith, and don't lose hope, and always believe in yourself and believe in God, and He'll take you the rest of the way.
There you go. I love it. Now, my final thoughts for the community is, we have different people that come into our lives and share different aspects of their journeys. And as we found out today, Erica came in and shared hers. And, her journey is a little bit different than everyone else's that has been on the show so thus far, and which is amazing because it gives a different spin
Yeah,
on what you can go through, and which is awesome because you know everybody can be touched, not, and as Erica has already said, not everybody's journey is the same. and and I appreciate it so much for you coming on, Erica.
oh, thank you. I'm
Thank
glad to
you
be here.
for taking the time to grace the Determined Show.
Absolutely.
really appreciate it. I'm going to put all that information, the 7 keys to resource and anger, and the description. And if you want to know more about Erica, that'll be all in the description on YouTube. So I conclude all my shows with a prayer. So let's get to it.
Okay.
All right. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for guiding me to Erica so that she can come on the Determined Show and share her testimony with the community and give them hope and inspiration that they too can get through their current circumstance. And please, I ask that you please watch over everyone given the circumstances that are currently going on throughout the world right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Can I say one more thing?
Go for it.
I have a slogan. I say, quit is an option, but it's not my option, and it shouldn't be yours.
Love it.
No.
And I have a slogan as well for you to follow, Erica, as you continue your journey.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Pave a path for others to follow.
Absolutely.
There you go. Because you always have people watching.
That's right.
Wondering how is Erica going to overcome what happened to her. Yes. So it might even be someone you don't even know that's watching you. You know, so hey, keep doing what you're doing. Keep striving to get better.
Thank you.
Keep kicking butt and taking names. All right.
I definitely will. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
Hey, take it easy. Thank you so much.